Hello, 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 dirty trucking, dirty trucking. It's 12:08 p.m. after in the afternoon here, and here I come with another I'm pissed story. I told you what happened at Uber. That there's some scam they've been running here, and they used a policy that they can't update your form of payment as an excuse to charge you for additional days that you have the car. Now, you extending the car, but you can't extend the car because you got to update your form of payment. And because they don't have a way to manually update it in their computer, they end up charging you $65 per day. I called them to see if they would prorate that. My rental rate when I had that Malibu was $309 and some change. When I divided it by seven, it came out to $44.17. If you're going to charge me for 3 days, I'm in a weekly contract. We couldn't extend another week on that car because the time I came back with the car, she looks it up when she tried to extend it and said the car was sold. So they switched me into another car. But I'm there to update my payment because of the fraudulent activity that took place when I gave you my new card on the 1st. This is all notated on the account. So why are you charging me $65 per day when I'm there to just update my form of payment because of the fraudulent activity, the reason why you couldn't get your money on the 8th? Nobody hearing this. This is the biggest scam I've ever seen before in my life. And it's with the updating your form of payment. This company has a way to go back into you charge you an amount, go back in your account, make that amount disappear, and charge a higher amount with nobody being the wiser and no record of the initial charge on the account. But you can't go in your computer and update my new debit card information without telling me I got to come out there and close out the account. Now, I'm going to call back up to the location and talk to the manager, the one who did my transaction to put me in this car I'm in now. She the one handed me that card, had the $520 on it. I remember her mentioning the amount of $520, but she didn't say what that was for. I have a card like that right now in the car. That is the total monies that they've collected from the time I had that particular car. That's what that card prints out. That was the total money, which should have been with this card. But somehow, the charge of a 308 on the 11th is no longer on my bank statement. And on the 15th, $520 popped up. The exact amount that's on that card that she didn't mention what it was about, but she was handing it to me. And I assumed that's the money they had on hold for the weeks that I had for the car, because that's what the other one was for. I got another one like that. When I rented that car for that week, they charged me the 308 or 309 or whatever the fuck that weekly rental rate was. I didn't see no $4,218 charge pop up on my account 4 days later. Why did they do it this time? But they're using that form of payment update as a scam. The scam is they can't update your card manually, so you got to come in. And if you're not back in on the day your contract is due to extend, then they're going to charge you for every day you had that car until you get that form of payment updated. When you're really there to update the form of payment so you can extend the rental. The vehicle extension notated this on their account. They notated the issue. They were aware of it. They should have been charging me $44.17 for 3 days. But they didn't. They charged me $65. $195 extra. They charged me. Now, I want to take them to court. They all laughing. You can do that, ha ha. That was their billing department. You can do that, have a nice day. Talking about she done went to talk to somebody to see if they can adjust the amount. This the billing department at Hertz. Unwilling to adjust the amount. Still trying to explain, but you had the car for 3 days. I would have had the car for a week if you hadn't sold it. I was there to update the form of payment because of the fraudulent activity that took place on my card after giving you my new debit card back on the 1st. This is because of your location. And you gonna charge me $65 and talk to me like I wasn't in a weekly contract? I was in a weekly contract. And the only reason you couldn't extend that car for a week is because when I came in there on that Friday, they informed me the car had been sold. So they put me in this other car, which left 3 days unpaid because it should have been paid on the 8th, but I couldn't pay it on the 8th because I didn't get the new debit card from the fraud to the 10th. And she told me to come in on Friday because it was too late to come in because I just got it out the mail and they were about to close. She said, come in on Friday. So I came in on Friday. That payment I made was supposed to be to extend the vehicle, the payment for the 8th. But the car got sold. So now she got to put me in another car, which is the same process. You closing out the account to update the new debit. Why do they have to close out the account? And every time they do that, they change your payment amount. Then they charge you per day when you're on a weekly rate. I'm on a weekly. I'm not going in turning in the car. I'm on a weekly rate. Some fraudulent activity took place on my card. And I called the courts because I want to take them to court. And they think it's funny. Hertz think it's funny. The billing department thinks it's funny. Everybody thinks it's funny. Talking to me like, well, we can't. Well, I done conferred with somebody. They said, no, we're not going to do that. Well, I'm taking you to court. Go ahead. That's them on Hertz end. I called the supervisor, the manager up there at the rental location, spoke to the exact lady that took the 308 on the 11th. What you can't explain if I do get it to court, or if any law enforcement officer asks, we have a rental record card here with a rental record number showing that you charged 308 and some change to her card on the 11th. But when we look at her bank statement, we don't see 308 on the 11th. But it says you charged her card on the 11th for 308. We also have a rental record card said that you charged her card $520 and some change on the 11th. That's totaling $800 and some damn dollars. Look like you charged her card on the 11th. So we have a problem here. She said you asked her to authorize the payment of $308, which she did. Where's the 308 that was charged to her card on the 11th? They need to ask that of Hertz, and they need to ask that of my bank. Because the bank tells me if the merchant don't finalize the transaction, it falls off. You just charged it on the 11th. That was Friday. Saturday, the bank is open. Sunday is not. Monday, they don't do any really transactions until Tuesday. So any transactions that happen over the weekend ain't gonna get processed till Tuesday. So if Friday was the 11th, Saturday was 12th, Sunday was the 13th, Monday was the 14th, ain't really no transactions being processed until the 15th. But if I click on that transaction at 520, I bet you it's gonna say it was processed on the 11th. Because that's what it always do. Say it came in on the 11th, but processed on the 15th. But that's not what she charged my card. And you ain't gonna be able to explain that. How did you charge my card 308? And I saw it on my bank ledger. I saw it. Because when I looked at that card, $520, I went on my account to make sure they didn't charge me $520. They didn't. They charged the 308. I saw it. I had no reason to scroll back down to the 11th to see if anything changed. I went to go pay my phone bill yesterday, and my card is being declined. I go on my account and see I got some money goddamn missing. I scroll down my account, I see a post of $520 on the 15th. And I wonder, that Hertz rental location can't even explain that. If you're going to charge her $520 in the first place, why didn't you charge her $520 when she was in there? You charged her $308. Why did you wait till after she left? And all of a sudden it's $520 post to her account on the 15th. So now I'm stuck with paying them an extra $195 just to update my form of payment. When the vehicle extension department knew why I couldn't update my form of payment. They knew. They fucking knew this is a scam. And guess what? I talked to a lady at the court here in Detroit. I was telling her about my scam. She said she used to be an Uber driver. True story. Just got off the phone with her. Works at 36th District Court in Detroit. 36th District Court. This is a court clerk that used to be an Uber driver that she said she quit last year. That in August, that's when I started Ubering in August. She said 2 years ago, she was Ubering. She was on her way to pick up a rider. She got a call from somebody saying, is your next pickup at this address? She said yes. Said the guy, they told her she need to cancel the ride. We're going to compensate her for it. Same story. This is a 36th District Court clerk who was an Uber driver. Said this happened to her 2 years ago. Same scam, but she didn't give him no information. She said when he went into his little skit, she just hung up. That's why he didn't give no. He didn't get nothing from her. She just hung up. But the same thing happened to her. She got that phone call. This is 2 years ago. So this is a scam being operated through Uber. It happened to my son last year while he was doing Uber Eats. Somebody contacted him. They ended up stealing $400 from him. He got it back from Uber, but it's the point. That happened to me twice. The first time he didn't get nothing. The second time he got more information from me, but he didn't get nothing. But somehow after giving Hertz rental car location, my new debit card, the Apple Pay charges started back for 3 days. And my bank mysteriously didn't alert me of fraud. Let it go on for 3 days. Never alerted me for the amounts over $50 because I had that on my account. And it did nothing. But you didn't. It's the fraud alert you didn't alert me of. When it happened the first time, you alerted me to fraud. You didn't this time. You let it go on for 3 days. When it came through as fraud the first time, they asked you, do you want to stop the fraud message? I pushed yes. I stopped fraud messages for that fraud for that day, not for the account. It was for that day. Why did he alert me of the fraud? Why did the bank, after knowing this just happened, you had recent record that this just happened September 17th. You see, these are Apple Pay charges. The first charges that came in was the exact same amount he attempted back on the 17th. And you let the motherfucker steal from me for 3 days. My bank, Uber, and Hertz rental car is all in on this fucking scam. I believe these got to be agents that work at Hertz, or these could be riders using an app, scheduling bogus pickups. It's one of the two. But by that second guy that did that to me at Pontiac, having my first four of my debit card information, that is information that's not on the rider app, which led me to believe this had to be somebody that worked at Hertz, because the only two locations that has my debit card on file is Hertz or Uber for payment. And the Hertz Vehicle Extension Department has it. Hertz Vehicle Extension Department has it. Now I'm pissed. Now, I've been encouraged to get it to court. She said she's going to write my name down. She's going to look for my case because she liked to know the outcome of it, because it happened to her, but they didn't get nothing. Now, I told them I need to take you to court. They just laughed it off. Okay, take us to court. I'm tired of you stealing. This is a fucking scam. I'm tired of them ripping me off. I'm doing my job here for this company, being the best Uber driver I could be, providing a clean, decent vehicle, paying the money when I'm supposed to pay it, or getting it to them when, if I don't have it when you're supposed to get it, I get it to you. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and you ripping me off. They need to explain to me how a charge of $308 just disappears off my fucking bank account. How? And I got a rental record card showing that you charged my account $308. Where the fuck is it? How did you make that disappear and pop up to $520? How did you combine that with additional charges? How? How?